Pretty, pretty, please come high, babe. I got something to tell you. Please come high, babe. Pretty, 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 please come high, babe. Keep coming around, cause I know that you're worthy, yeah. Pretty, pretty, please come high, babe. I got something to tell you.
La 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 means I love you. I love you. La 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 means I really love you, baby. Yeah. If I ever met a girl that I needed in this world, you are the one for me. Mr. Told me one day I find peace in every way. In my search for the clue, there was something I had to do. It was keep your hand to the sky. Play another slow jam, this time make it sweet. Another slow jam for my baby and for me. Play another slow jam, this time make it sweet, baby. Ooh, see, what you say is true. I feel the same way too. See, I've waited all day long just to dance with you. And when you took my hand, I knew you were the woman. Ooh, hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, it's me, baby. Thought about us for a long, long time. Maybe I think too much, but something's wrong. How great is our God? Simply how great is our God? How great.
Yo, YouTube was good, Facebook was good. How y'all doing, man? You see who I got back in front of the camera?
Nice to be back.
Pastor Dana Carter. Yeah, man, today we were just chilling, man. You know, we're not in my dining room today. We're in our living room. And, Pops came over or whatever. So we were just sitting here chilling, man. I decided to throw the camera on. We was having some conversation about a few things and things like that. Mm-hmm. So today's going to be a little different. You know, if you're watching the video this far, I'm going to have clips of Pops playing his guitar in the beginning. He brought his guitar over. And, yeah, man, I mean, I don't have to say a lot. You're going to see it in the beginning. He was jamming over here, man. We were jamming out. So I just decided to, throw the camera on, man, and just, pick up from there. So how you feeling today, Pop?
Man, listen, man. I'm going to tell the truth. It just feels good. This seems like, a whole new thing, a whole new environment, for me being able to come out. And we apologize I didn't get a chance to get out and do the other vlog. I was supposed to come Friday, but I was going through a little bit of issues. So, but some things, but things is okay. Everything's all right. God still got me. But I'm just here, man. Glad to be able to bring my guitar, man. And like I say, I ain't the greatest, but I'll tell you one thing. I taught myself, with the help of the good Lord,
Right. Self-taught, that's a big thing, man.
Yeah, self-taught.
Expound on that. So how it's easy for people to sit down and pay a whole bunch of money and, to get classes and things like that. So for the people that, might not be fortunate enough to have that type of money, you're self-taught. So, tell them how you did it. People that don't have the money that can go to a class and spend money on an expensive teacher. Yeah, why don't you expound on, how you did it?
Well, I'm going to tell you the truth. A friend of mine's named Mr. Curtis. Mr. Curtis
was playing the guitar, and I used to just watch him. But Mr. Curtis had told me that my dad played guitar, and my mother used to tell me all the time. And none of my brothers or any of us, played guitar or anything, but I played drums and sing. And so I knew there was a music gene in me. Mm-hmm. So the one thing that I said is I told my wife, I said that I want to play guitar. Well, of course, she laughed at first. But Mr. Curtis actually had loaned me a guitar. And he told me that if I would practice, that I could keep it. So anyway, to make a long story short, I went back and showed him that I was serious. Mm-hmm. And so he told me to keep the guitar. And so that's how I started. Then my wife went out and bought me an acoustic for my birthday. And I started playing on that. But if you want to know how I started getting better, I'm going to tell you all my little secret is YouTube. I just kept watching YouTube. I kept putting in different things about jazz chords. Everybody knows the cowboy chords, E minor and A minor and C, D, F, all those things, So I just kept practicing and trying to put it together and playing by ear. And you be the judge. I thank God that, I can put it together enough that I can do some of the songs that I like to sing.
Right. So yeah, because even in the last year, I think, I think before I heard you today, it might have been like almost
It's been a little while.
It's been a while since, I heard you play.
But I've been practicing.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, I definitely can tell.
Practicing.
I definitely can tell.
And I got to put this shout out there. One of my best friends that I've ever had in this world, his name is Brian Parr.
Okay.
And
shout out Brian Parr.
Shout out to Brian. Yeah, that's my man. And he plays with a group. Everybody mostly that knows Brian knows that he sings with a group called Blind Date. So shout out to Blind Date.
Shout out to Blind Date.
Putting y'all out there more.
Yeah.
So, but me and Brian grew up together. I think I've known Brian since I was about 8 or 9 years old. And this guy is an awesome musician. He's an awesome singer. You know what I mean? I love this guy from the bottom of my heart. And he always tells me, just do your music, Dana. Just go out there and do what you do. And so, it's really an honor for me to be able to sit down, sing a couple songs, let people see, what God has allowed me to do. Absolutely. And I'm quite sure if he sees this, I think he would be very pleased to see that I'm trying to do something with the talent and the gift that God gave me.
Absolutely. And like I said, shout out to him. And you said their group was
Blind Date.
Blind Date.
They're out of Chester, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And anytime that you hear Blind Date or you hear anything about Brian Parr, there's another group too. I think it's G2. I'm sorry if I'm not saying that right, Mar. Mar is Brian's son.
Okay.
But I'm trying to put that out there. I think it's G2. And if it's not, then I apologize. But it's his son.
Okay.
Has a group. He plays bass. Awesome bass player. Awesome guy.
Well, let me know if you can get him, man. The platform's definitely open, man. We'll interview them.
Man, them guys.
We'll get their music out there.
Them guys,
whatever we can do.
Awesome. They play all over the place. Philadelphia, all over. They play all over. So I just couldn't get on here and not say nothing about them, man, because those guys,
absolutely.
I just love them guys. I love them guys. Lamar, and that's his son, and so, like I said, man, it's music. Music is my life, man.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I wish that when we were younger, let me just talk to you a little bit about. We had a group when I was younger, and the group was called. What was the name of our group? It was, I told you earlier, and I almost slipped my mind. It was a Funkology. And we followed such people as Rick James. We followed Parliament Funkadelic. And so, we just were willing to, do, whatever, we had to do to play around. So we had people, I'm going to put out a couple more shout outs. Ricky Orell, we had Craig Satchel, we had Gary Joe, we had Larry Marshall, and myself, I played drums, and man, we went around singing and doing what we did, and we were some very talented kids.
Right.
And we just never had the push behind us for somebody to push us out there and to really get us out there, to help us out. And so, unfortunately, for me, the story that I'm telling, that I ventured into wrongdoing.
Right.
And and like I said, I'm not going to keep continuing to expound only on that. Addiction was a big part of my life. I've had some awesome people in my life, you know, and I'm just happy to be able to have you, T.
Of course.
You know, I don't care what nobody says, man. You know, you're the best son-in-law that God could have gave me, man.
Oh,
you know, man, I mean that, man. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, man. I mean, I just love you, boy.
I love you too,
man. Man, I do, man. I love you, man, and that brings tears to my eyes, man. I love you and Shell, man. You two, man, y'all is my strength, man. You know, y'all my strength, man. And
Pop's gonna do this to me behind the camera, man. Nah.
you know, hey, listen, man.
Nah, man.
Anybody, if y'all, man, I gotta keep it real, man. And you know, ever since I met this guy, if I can take a second, man, it's been nothing but love, man. This guy never, ever made me ever feel any kind of way, man. He loves my daughter, and what more can I ask for, man? This guy is like heaven sent, man. I thank God, man, that he loves up on my daughter the way that you do, man. And you're an awesome guy, man. And anybody that gets a chance to be able to befriend you and you befriend them, man, they got a real friend, man. I know that. You know?
And I appreciate that. I really do.
Man,
I really honestly do, man. I don't want to get too crazy about myself, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's about, right now it's about you. But honestly, Pop, man, it's like outside of this interview, man, this is true feelings. Like this ain't for the camera, man. We sit and talk for hours at a time, man. We go back and forth, and you know what I mean? Like it's an honest, real relationship, and it's, you know, and I sit and listen to Pop all the time, and some told me, I just said, man, he need to get his story out there, man. Like he need to, like, and he's helping me too at the same time, because, you know, I don't really do interviews like that and things like that. If you check my channel, so this is new for me. So sitting behind the camera, all this is organic. You know, everything we do is organic.
Yes.
I'm not even writing down questions or anything. I'm literally just going off the top of the head, and we're just talking on camera like we normally do. So if it seems like, you know, I might go off a topic or something, it's because that's just literally how we are. We sit and we talk, and it's just what we do. So I just wanted to say thank you to you. You know what I mean, for, you know, just being, being a father-in-law. That it's
an honor. People don't understand that, you know, I come and I sit here, and a lot of times, you know, people don't get a chance to really get to know you because maybe they've heard something in the past about you, or maybe somebody said something about you, and so they took it that, you know, that person's no good and all this different kinds of whatever, and they never got a chance to really get to know you. And so, you know, like with me being able to do this, you know, I'm putting myself out as transparent as I can be, you know, to let people know that I'm approachable. If there's anything that I can ever do to try to help you, you know, you can best believe that I'm that type of person, because I believe, you know, what Jesus said. And Jesus told us that we're supposed to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And so everyone that I come in contact with is my neighbor. And so we never know what a person's going through. You never know what a person been through. So in other words, how do you know where a person's coming from, nor do you know where a person's gone, unless you be able to sit down and they can explain some things to you. So let's stop judging the book by the cover. About the cover. And so, you know, I mean, I'm just here, you know, like I said, I'm just here, like I said, to do whatever it is, to, you know, questions that you have or anything that you want to, you know, ask or anything. I'm here. I mean, you know.
Absolutely. And yeah, man, so I want to kind of get on the music because, you know, like I said, we were doing a music thing today.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to change it up. That's why I said. Places. Right.
Because see, people's gonna be able to see us, and they see that this is like they say, this is the Free Willy episode.
Yeah.
you know, we just come in and like I said, and I don't want everything to be that every time you sit down it's the same thing over and over and over. You know, music is a big part of what I'm trying to get out. Right. I'm trying to get people out to understand that, and I'm letting you know right here on camera. You know, I do weddings. You know, not only just, you know, will I preach at your wedding or do your ceremony, I do funerals, you know, I do, you know, a lot of things for people. And the thing about it is that if someone wants someone to sing live, you know, at their wedding or something or whatever, you know, you can just contact me, you know, get in contact.
Dropping them comments, man, dropping them comments, things like, you know, questions or whatever it is, man. Like, we try to be on this channel, we try to be as translucent as possible. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing you can say that you got to worry about asking that. If you have a question, it's because you're wondering, and we're here. You know what I mean? Our thing is we're trying to make sure that, we come off as you can ask us whatever, and we're going to, give you 100% honest opinions, from what's going on, regardless of what it is. I don't care if it's who you think want to win the Super Bowl. The more just ask it, you know what I mean?
We're just here to put it out there. We're just here, and here's the thing, we're looking to make this thing a whole lot bigger. We like to be able to, even some people in the community that are trying to do things or whatever like that, maybe we could sit down and maybe turn this thing into a little bit of a show where we can bring some people that's in the community trying to give something back, trying to do something or whatever. I'm open to sit down with people, talk to people, because other people got stories to share too.
Right.
And so maybe what we can do is sit down and be able to, to talk to some people. I'm available to come to your church, or whatever it is, and preach, or or come even just for support, and so whatever it is, like I said, just let us know.
Right. Yeah. So I guess that was our intro. Other than you're going to see the clips of the music in the beginning, and so yeah, let's dive into it, man. If you're ready for that,
let's do it.
Dive into
let's do it.
And since we're on the subject that matter, I want to talk a little bit more about your music, things of your influences and who were you listening to growing up, and
Good question.
things like that. What influenced you to get into music, and just genre, whatever, things like that. So if you want to.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I've always enjoyed listening to. I mean, when I was younger, as when we were coming up, I was big into Michael Jackson. And I'd be up in my room calling myself, trying to spin around, fall on the floor. You know what I'm saying? The Jacksons. I was big into Temptations.
Absolutely.
I mean, those guys doing them steps and all that kind of different things. Smokey Robinson, Marvin Gaye. I mean, these guys was awesome.
Right.
My mother was big into Gladys Knight and the Pips, and so music. Now, me being one of the younger ones, my older brothers and sisters, they all would sit there and they be playing their different songs, and and so we being kids or whatever, we 7, 8, 9 years old, we singing adult songs, we singing songs, here we singing some love song, we don't know nothing about it.
Right, yeah.
we don't know nothing about it,
That's how it is usually. When you start liking music, I noticed that you're exposed to your parents' music first, you know what I mean? And that kind of, picks up your genre, things that you start liking.
Hey, listen, I used to say little corny stuff to girls like this. When I was coming up, I say, from a song, I say to her something like, "Girl, don't try to use me till you use me up." I mean, come on now. Try to, you know what I'm saying? Saying stuff from songs, you know what I mean? If loving you was wrong, I don't want to be right.
You was killing them though.
Little young boy trying to, that's the kind of stuff that we did. But to go into it, man, I just love singing since I was young.
Right.
But I'm gonna tell one little story. I remember when I was young, I remember my mother told me one time, and this guy's true. She told me that I couldn't carry a note in a suitcase. And that hurt my feelings, right? And not that I'm putting my mother out there like she was a mean mother or whatever.
Right.
No, but I remembered that. And so I never really sang around my mom because I kind of felt like maybe I couldn't sing because my sister could sing, and she was actually in a pageant, and I believe she took second place or something in the pageant. I'm not sure, but she did good. It was Miss Black America pageant, and so I don't believe my mother ever heard me sing again until I sang at my nephew Daryl. Shout out to my nephew Daryl. I sang at his wedding, and I sang a song that I wrote called "Today I'm Marrying My Angel." And I sang it to him and his wife. Shout out to Laverne. So my mom didn't even know that it was me singing. And so from that day, she said, "I didn't know you could sing like that." So the contrast of how things changed. And then she did say to me, she said, I didn't know you could sing like
Wow.
that. So it really made me feel good about what I was doing.
Right.
So, you know, and then I gotta say this, you know, my son Craig, shout out to Craig, man, you know, how much we love him and miss him. He used to always say to me, he used to say, Dad, you're so talented, you know, and you're so gifted. He used to say, you're too hard on yourself.
Right.
Because I never wanted to really, you know, go out and do what I was doing. I started off, let me tell you this, I was a rapper. And a lot of people,
I think I remember.
I don't care what
you
people
saying
say, I was nasty.
You want to spit some rhymes, bro?
Oh man, you better go ahead.
You know, one of them old school rhymes.
But man, listen, man, I used to, you know, hit all kinds of different raps. I had a rap I called Trouble. I wrote a lot of raps.
Okay.
I did. I mean, hits the Trouble. I hit a little bit of the Trouble rap for y'all. This is an old school, man, so you know what I mean? All right. Sitting back thinking about troubled times, so I decided to put some in this rhyme. Trouble's not something you think or plan out, but still somehow it comes about. You're walking through town, you're rapping non-stopping, calling yourself doing window shopping. Approach one store that sold diamond rings. That's when you thought about doing the thing. You see, your mind's kind of boggled, not thinking clear. It's telling you to break in from the rear. You're climbing through the window. Someone yells, "Halt!" Take a second to just figure that you just got caught. That's trouble. Trouble, 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 and trouble will sure enough burst your bubble. You're on the avenue, you're talking nickels and dimes, quarters and halves, that'll shock your mind. Despite all the things that are named above, you know darn well you got those other drugs. You're making your money, yeah, having fun. You're selling that stuff to everyone. But in the back of your mind, you know what you did because you just sold a bag to some little kid. But that's the way it goes, just to get your stash. Until one day, you get a bad batch. You bagged it up, you sold all your friends, just so you could re-up once again. You even sold a friend that was too close and you almost had a drug overdose. So that's trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. And trouble will sure enough burst your bubble. It's easy to find, hard to get out of. You can huff, you can puff, you can even shove. Stand there, your eyes start to fill with tears. You know you're going to jail when you have your fears. You should have thought about it when you pulled this off. You knew in your heart that you really was soft. Yeah, you want a second chance, want to take it all back. Because the jailhouse you know you can't hack. No money for a lawyer, so you take a PD, hoping that he can get you set free. Your court day comes, they review your case. The jury sees guilt all over your face. The verdict's passed down. You can't hear a sound, cause you know you are prison bound. No more hanging around, no more standing in town, no more being a clown. That's why you're wearing a frown, because you just went down on a serious pound. That's trouble, 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 trouble. And trouble will sure enough burst your bubble. Believe it.
Okay, Pop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey man, that's just,
You got it one take, man.
Yeah.
So let me
Stop it, y'all. Stop it. Stop it. That's my daughter over there, y'all. Over there acting up.
She over there dancing.
Listen, she's just like her dad. I'm talking about that. Hey, listen, it's just, like I said, you know, that's something that I wrote years ago, man. And like I said, it's just, you know, a gift from God, man, that just gives me the ideal of just being able to let people know that a lot of the stuff that you young folks out there are doing, the rapping and the stuff, and y'all into Jay-Z and all that kind of stuff. There was a lot of people before the Jay-Z's, a lot of people before the Nas's, a lot of people before the Biggies and the Tupacs. You know, you had Sugar Hill, you had Africa Bambaataa, you had so many different groups. Mr. Curtis Blow, the Furious Five, so many people, you know, that I can't even, you know, Roxanne Shante, and I mean, so many different people that were out there putting down rhymes and different stuff like that. And it really, 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 I mean, but here's the thing. We were before those people, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm talking about the other people, but the one that put us on the map, to be honest with you, was Sugar Hill. When we heard that hip hop, you know, we all wanted that. We wanted to know. So we used to run around, you know, writing rhymes and, you know, doing other people's rhymes. But out of Coatesville, I was one of the original people that would rhyme one of my own rhymes that I wrote. And that's what made me separated me from some of them. But then people like Geronimo Mobley, I shout out to Geronimo, it was one of my friends, Al Steele, you know, we used to call my brother Rod Doc. Ricky Arrell, Slick Rick, shout out to Slick.
We about to start some trouble right now. We about to start some trouble. Well, I'm going to ask you, so I want your honest opinion. Was there anybody in Coatesville out rapping you?
Not back then. Not back then, and I stand behind what I say because even I remember Geronimo said to me one time, he said, man, he said, after years went by, he said, if anybody was going to make it, he said, I expected it to be you. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's what a lot of people, say to me. A lot of people, tell me, man, you're gifted, you're talented. And, and even when I was in jail, I used to sing through the doors, and a lot of people out there know, they called me the radio. Because at nighttime I would just sing across the blocks, and some people say, man, you helped me get through my bid, man, because you sang them songs and different stuff or whatever like that. And so, like I said, man, this is just getting an opportunity. This is my platform for me to be able to let people know, you can do anything you want to do. You can be anything you want to be. I don't care what nobody tells you that your mother was this and your grandfather was this and, and I don't care nothing about that. That was them. That was their life. And here's the thing. And if they drunk away or smoked away or shot needled away all of their talent and their gifts or whatever, that doesn't have to be you. I don't care what mama's doing. I don't care what daddy's doing. I don't care what brothers and sisters are doing. You have an opportunity to be able to say, I'm not only going to step up, I'm going to step out. Right. And you can step out from the shadow of all those people because, one thing about it is this. How can you still blame somebody that's dead for what you're doing today?
Right.
My grandpa told me I'd never be nothing. Well, where's grandpa at now? Grandpa dead. Well, grandpa don't have an influence no more, does he?
Right.
And if he does, it's because you're giving it to him.
Right.
So, that's where I'm at. When I think about, like, my daughter, right? My daughter, Michelle. Shout out to Chelsea. Right? Right. She can sing. She likes to sing. And I remember that I had wrote this song, and the song was called Tonight. And I had went to Philadelphia to a studio, and I brought back the CD. And I loaned that CD to my daughter. She wouldn't give it back. She wouldn't even give the CD back. The song was called Tonight. And her and my son, Craig, man, that boy, he would be jumping around, Chelsea said, singing that song, Tonight, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I took her to one of my rehearsals, remember I took her to the studio? And I took her to the studio. And they listened to her, and what we were going to do was we were actually going to let her be the lead singer.
Oh, God.
Hey, man, watch your mouth. Yes, but that's what I'm saying, that, the gift of singing and music is in the family.
Right.
And so for me, man, like I said, it's just a beautiful thing.
That's love. Yeah, so you're saying that you feel like your inspiration came from, you heard, your father played guitar.
Right.
And then you started, playing guitar and get into music and things like that. And then, my wife sings all the time. I actually woke up to this morning, she was in there cooking breakfast to, Don't Stop, Get It. No, I'm lying.
Oh, yeah,
what was it? Wait, I'm sorry.
See, they acted up, man.
It was, gospel. It was gospel music. And it's weird, and not weird because it's gospel, but it just is. It goes to show the spirituality that carries on in generations.
Sure.
Just to see, from your dad to you to my wife, and
remember, I didn't know my dad.
Right.
I didn't know my dad because he died when I was 5 years old, and so the memories that I have are actually influenced memories.
Right.
And it's kind of a little bit unfair. So in other words, what I'm saying is that I didn't know my dad. So I'm not going to judge my father off of what I didn't know, and I refuse to judge him off of what I heard. Because see, what it is for me is this, right? I'm not going to sit back. Mr. Curtis told me a lot, and other people when I lived in Parksburg, they used to tell me about my dad. Oh, your daddy was a great guitar player. Your daddy could sing. Your daddy. So one thing about it was this. I knew. Even all the years that Brian Parr played, right? I never learned nothing. I could never learn nothing from Brian. Whatever. Even though he tried to show me some things when we were younger, he was trying to get me to learn the bass. But I just never, it wasn't in me.
Right.
So it wasn't until my time came when I wanted to be able to say that I was ready to do it.
Right.
So now, you know what I mean, when I break out my guitar or whatever, and by no means am I saying I'm a Brian Parr. Because Brian he's awesome.
Right.
But that's me. That's my personality. I'm always I don't never try to push myself to be too great.
Right.
But, you know, I thank God that I can pick my little guitar up and I can play. And the thing about it is this. I never said that I was the next Jimi Hendrix, the next George Benson, who was my favorite guitar player.
Okay.
I want that to be known, you know what I mean? Okay. Matter of fact, I call my guitar Benson. And so that's after George. So shout out to George Benson. Love his music, love his style. And, you know, so with me, I just do my own little thing, you know. So, like I said, you know, I put my singing and my writing and those things together. And I can write really nice songs. I did a song for you, but you didn't tape it.
Yeah.
It was called Come Back Home.
I was trying to get you to do that again, but,
yeah,
you know.
It's called Come Back Home. And it's just a song based off of where it was about a guy that wasn't living right, wasn't treating his woman right, and so she left. And he didn't realize until she was gone that it was too late. This is pretty long.
No. But no, it's cool. Like I said,
can wrap it up.
Yeah, no, but
it's all out there.
It's all good. This is really not going to be like this right here. Is really not going to be like this is just something we were just chopping it up. You know, he brought his guitar over, so we just decided, man, listen, we chopping it up. We just regular people. We want to throw the camera on. So this is going to be like a little behind the scenes, I guess you could say.
There you go.
Because we didn't drop Friday, so we just giving y'all something that just, you know, catch up with y'all, and you know what I mean, and then we'll get back to regular, we'll get back to regular business.
To where it was with the upbringing, and there's a lot of things that you still want to talk about as far as, you know, there was some issues and different things that happened. I wanted to tell them about the robbery. There was a robbery that I had went through.
Right.
And a guy had put a gun to my head, and I'm just going to leave it right there so people are tuned back in.
Yeah, fact.
Because, you know, that's something that I'm sure that you would want to hear. And it's only by the grace of our one and only merciful God that I'm still here to be able to tell these stories and to be able to sit here and be able just to, and whenever I come out here with my daughter and my son-in-law, you know, and it's just a wonderful thing. It always puts me in a perspective where I really appreciate how far God has brought not just me as a person, but also my relationship with y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I mean that to me, this is awesome. And matter of fact, let me tell you something. You two are the only two that I really visit and go inside of someone's home. The only other person I would say that I may visit and go inside of their home would be Mr. Curtis, and I go and visit my friend Kevin Gardner. And so really I don't have a lot of people that I spend a lot of time with or hang out with, because I just don't hang out. So most of the time I spend my time with my beautiful wife, you know, LaRonda. Shout out to you, LaRonda Carter.
Shout out to LaRonda.
Yeah, so, you know, but I mean, that's the thing. That's my life right there. My life is wrapped around my wife. My life is wrapped around y'all. And it's just getting better with y'all. We have Bible studies, y'all, every Thursday. And we start at, what time, honey, 6?
6:45, 7.
6:45, something to 7. And
we'll make sure everybody in. We'll make sure everybody in about 6:45.
Yeah, and we want more people to come. And I'm gonna tell you, it is awesome. And I'm not saying it because, you know, God allows me to lead the studies, but He's the teacher. The Holy Spirit is the teacher. Let's understand. People that's out there talking about, I'm the teacher. No, I'm the vessel, and the Holy Spirit is the teacher. And so maybe one day you could probably get more out of what's going on with the Bible study out of Lachelle and out of Terrence and out of Marie. Hi, Marie. Shout out to Marie.
Shout out to Marie.
Yeah, you know, and you know, the Bible studies, I mean, they're so awesome because the teaching is a lot different than maybe most people would think. The teaching is not about, you know, we all sit quietly and nobody can say anything. No, we go into and we ask, I want to know, what are you learning and how are you applying? Application is most important. How are you applying it to your life and how is it making a difference? So like this Thursday, I always ask my daughter and I ask my son-in-law, and Marie, you know, how, how did you apply it to your life this week? Did something happen, or was there any place that you were able to apply what you heard? So with that, I'm going to close. So this is my closing always. I always say it this way. If nobody told you that they loved you today, you know God does, and so do I. Thank you.